Hey, what's Gucci, fam? That is the most cringiest intro I have ever heard. What's up, guys? I'm back in business. As you can tell by the title, I'm not in the dopest situation I can be in right now, but that's okay. I guess you guys clicked on this wondering, how is this guy gonna live his life? If you're new to this channel, what up? My name is Ali. I live in Boston, maybe not for long, but that's where I'm at right now. I'm in Cambridge, actually. Moved here in July. I've been here for maybe 7 months or some shit. It's January right now, mid-January. I got fired from my first job as a recruiter like 5 months into it. Now I am running out of savings and I'm living in Cambridge. It's expensive out here. Trying to find a job, but my situation is pretty fucked right now. So let me give you the rundown, okay, guys? I've been up to in the past week, what I've been up to right now, what my story is, and how I got to this point. You ready, guys? Here it is. Alright, let's go. So, basically, I graduated from Brown 2019 May. I want to start a business as a tech tycoon, build out some type of software and become the next biggest entrepreneur, the next Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, Elon Musk. Okay? Well, that didn't play out. As you can imagine, there was a lot about the real world that I did not know. I had spent my entire life with my nose in a book, and I have never experienced the real world. So being an entrepreneur, being a wantrepreneur, trying to live the hustle life like Gary Vee and Casey Neistat, that was kind of the romantic idea I had in my head. And like I said, in the real world, all I had spent my time in was in a book, and I'd never actually been out on the streets before. I had never actually lived the life of a starving artist, of an entrepreneur trying to make shit happen. So when I got here, there was a lot that I had to learn, and I really just got the shit rocked. I got my ass kicked, and I'm here. I've survived, and I've learned a lot for it. So, a lot of shit happened. I got scammed out of $2,000 trying to sign my first lease. I got fired from my first job because, recruitment was not the right industry for me. And, now at this point, I'm about to run out of all the savings that I had left, and I'm about to be homeless. So, as you can see, living my entire life with my nose in a book, I had not understood what the real world is like. I'd always been in a very guarded environment in the suburbs when I was growing up. In college, I went to Brown. I was in a hilled and fenced area, and I'd never experienced the real world. I never realized how artificial the environment of a school was, or how artificial a household was. The safety that you felt inside is because your parents had been dealing with the real world, and I had never dealt with it on my own. I had never really ventured out and experienced things for myself before, even when I was growing up. And so I've lived a very sheltered existence. Even now, living here in Cambridge, the crime rate is pretty low. I haven't really even dealt with real people yet, but I'm starting to learn. There's some life lessons that I'm starting to get into, and I'll get into that a little bit in this video as well. But this year, graduating in May, so in 2019, this year, between 2019 and 2020, it's basically my year of growing up, my year of experiencing the real world and catching up all the life lessons that I missed spending all my time in a sheltered existence. There's a lot that I have to catch up to around people before I can really consider myself ready to start a business. So I've grown up, I've become mature, I've got a mustache, as you can see. Probably that wasn't there in the last week's vlog. So I'm starting to grow older, starting to feel more mature, starting to feel more sure of myself. I'm starting to understand what I'm here for. But those are kind of emotional ideas. Those are kind of me building the story of myself up. But I have some more pressing concerns, which is I'm about to be homeless. And I'll get into that right now. So basically, I am running out of savings. I came here to Boston with nothing to my name, no friends, no job, nothing. I just had the plan that Boston was gonna be where I was gonna be going after graduation, and I knew that once I hopped on that plane and landed here with my luggage, that I was going to have to figure something out. Because I didn't have a plan, I didn't have any money or a job. It's just I knew that once I got here, I would have no choice but to figure out something. And so I kind of jumped into it, into the fire, realizing that I don't have a plan, I don't really know what I'm doing or what I want, but I know that I'll be forced to figure something out. So that's kind of what happened, is that I came here and I didn't have a job, so I found a job as a recruiter. That was the first job I found, and I thought, I'll come here, I'll start a business, and I'll just do a job on the side to expense my living, and I'll build up my business. 2-3 years, I'll be up and running, have investors, and I'll be moving to California, Silicon Valley, and life takes off like that. But it's obviously not that simple. Recruitment took up so much of my time, so much of my energy. It was draining me, and I felt unhappy and miserable, and it was not the right thing for me. And I felt like I was distracted from my goals. I felt that I was stagnating and that I was never going to accomplish anything. So that obviously never took off. And so now that I've cut that off, I'm in a better place, but now I'm in a more difficult situation because I can't afford my rent next month. That's what I mean by I'm going to be homeless. I literally cannot afford to buy any food or to buy, my actual housing next month. So I am in a tricky situation. And that means that if I can't somehow scrounge up the cash, I will literally not have a home starting next month. So I've kind of gotten myself in a pickle. And in these kind of situations, you have to decide, who are you, what do you want, why do you want it, and what are you gonna do? So what happened to me now, I'm in this situation, and what I've been thinking about now and how I've been dealing with the situation was I go back to principles, and I realized that the reason I wanted to come here was I wanted to start a business. I wanted to be a tech tycoon. I wanted to start software. I want to do something in fintech, foreign exchange, maybe building a platform. I want to incorporate AI. I think that's the next internet. So I have a lot of visions for the future. It's just I need to be able to execute. And the thing is, I have such a long-term view, but I haven't the slightest kind of vision for the present. So the situation I'm in now is that I have to figure out how to pay for rent next month. That's my current problem right now. So I have two options. I have one, find a job, or two, borrow from my parents. And a little bit about my parents is that they came from Bangladesh in the 80s. I wasn't born yet. They spent a long time struggling in America. They moved to Ohio. They were waitresses and waiters and bank tellers. They did 2 jobs each. They would work 7 days a week. They lived in an apartment, in a 2-person apartment with 6 people, and it was a very, very difficult struggle for them. They were able to build their way up, but it was very difficult. They have their own home now. They have their selves established. They were able to send their children to an Ivy League school, but it was very difficult for them. And so they went through a lot to get to where they were, and they did it kind of as immigrant people, and they struggled a lot. So when I am faced with this situation about deciding to borrow from my parents to live out my dream, to build out a business, to follow my passions. When I think about that alternative, that choice, it's just not an option for me. It's just not something that I could ask from them, because yes, they went through all that struggle so that I wouldn't have to go through it. That's true. But I cannot accept that type of mentality that I will have, my fortune given to me. I came here because I want to start from nothing. I want to build my own empire, build my own fortune, and give back to my parents what they gave to me. And so I've come to this decision that I'm not going to borrow from my parents. I'm going to do this on my own. I'm going to do this for myself and for my family. So that leaves me with only one option, and that is to get a job. And so it takes a while to get a good job. In general, for every $10,000 in your salary, that's another month you should spend searching for your job. So for a $60,000 job, you should spend 6 months around getting that job. So I have 1 month to have a job in order to spend next month's rent. I have 1 month to be able to pay for next month's rent. So I have to find whatever I can get. And the choice I've been able to scrounge up for myself is to work at Walgreens. I've got an offer at Walgreens. Basically, the store is completely empty. It's understaffed, and they just need someone to pick up the slack and just get in there and do the work. And so they've offered me a job kind of almost on the spot, basically just because they just need anyone. So what happened was, this was a few days ago, was that I went in and they gave me the job and they said, okay, start tomorrow. And what I'm choosing to do is I started yesterday, or no, on Friday. Today is Sunday, and I took it. I took the job because I have to be able to afford next month's rent, and I'm not gonna borrow from my parents, as what I was talking about before. So I took the job, and it was rough. It was really rough. I'm not gonna lie. It's rough. There's people who are homeless, people who are insane, literally clinically insane. They'd come into the store. They have maybe schizophrenia or some mental disorder. I'm not trying to be rude or mean about this, but they genuinely have mental problems, and they come to the store. They're homeless. They would, they need help, and they come into these stores because, I'm in, Cambridge. I'm in downtown Cambridge, or not downtown Cambridge, but I'm in the store in the city. There's a lot of people coming and going, and I had to pick up the slack. Basically, it's understaffed, so I was basically just I just came in and they just handed me the keys, all right, you got to do something because no one else is here to do anything. So I came in and I'm basically just doing everything in the store already. There's no one else there. I've basically become the manager at our Walgreens over here, Central Square, if you guys were wondering. And we have a manager and everything, but I basically was the one who had to deal with this store, and it was a lot of responsibility. And this vlog is going every which way anyways, but I don't want to be complaining, but it was not what I expected, and I've never thought I'd be at this point in my life, as an Ivy League graduate, working at Walgreens as a cashier essentially, but also kind of this dude who has to do it all because no one else is doing it, and just having to kind of deal with this situation. And what I realized was that I was never really humble. I was always in an ivory tower almost. I always had this kind of superiority kind of complex. I'm smarter than everybody. I'm going to be more talented than everybody. I'm going to be a rich guy. I'm going to do all this stuff. But I've never really actually understood what it meant to be down on the ground, helping people, helping homeless people, helping people who need food stamps, and I might need food stamps as well. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing at all, because I'm unemployed but I have a job now. I mean, but like I'm about to be broke. I can't afford my rent, but like, so like I'm starting to like humble myself. I'm trying to understand, what did these people go through? What does this life really mean? Like, how hard is it to survive in this world? And like I was saying, I was always living a sheltered existence in a hill, in a fenced school. I've never really dealt with people in the real world. I've never really dealt with wolves in this world. And I've had to humble myself. I've had to be in the cashier. I had to be subservient. I had to be humble. I had to be helpful. And I've realized, you know, I've been way more arrogant than I should have been. If I want to be an entrepreneur, if I want to actually do this life, you know, be a tycoon, be someone who helps people out in this world, I have to be a people person. I have to understand how to deal with people and how to help them too, and how to help people, not just the ones who can help me, but the ones who need help and they can't help themselves. And that's something that I'm starting to learn how to do, and I'm starting to grow up, and I'm starting to understand what it means, the responsibility that it takes to be someone important in this world, be someone who makes a difference in this world. It's a responsibility, and I had never really respected that before. I just thought it was kind of a privilege, and it's something that, you know, I just wanted like power, money, fame, like all this stuff. Just maybe because I felt helpless in a time when I was young, but now I'm starting to realize, I'm starting to respect what I'm asking for, and it's a hell of a thing. It's a hell of a thing, that's for sure. Anyways, I'm starting to grow up. I'm starting to learn what it is that this world means, and it's a hell of a ride, that's for sure. That's basically kind of where I'm at right now. That's how I'm going to afford next month's rent. I do have a job as a tutor, online tutoring called Varsity Tutors or something like that. So I'm gonna start doing that, but that's not gonna pay that much. And right now, your boy is a Walgreens store associate. So that's basically what I'm up to right now. That's how I'm gonna afford next month's rent. That's how I'm not gonna be homeless, hopefully, and I'm not gonna borrow from my parents. I'm not going to kind of resort to that. One thing I kind of read when I was starting my training for Walgreens was that the founder of Walgreens, the Walgreen guy, I forgot his name, sorry, but like his story, I related it to him a lot. Basically, he moved to Chicago, and almost immediately he was running out of savings to live there. So you know, down on his luck, he kind of threw the rest of the money that he had in his pocket into the river, because like he made a kind of a promise to himself that he was going to make his own fortune, and he was going to build his own independence, and he wasn't going to rely on his parents to kind of help him through that. And I related to that so much because that's exactly the situation I'm in. Yes, I could borrow from my parents. Yes, I can go back home to Ohio, and yes, I could, you know, work in Ohio and be happy living with my family, but no, I've chosen a different path, and in this moment that I'm the most desperate, when I'm about to run out of all the money that I have, that's the time that I really kind of search in myself, and I am even rejuvenated. This kind of decision to work at Walgreens has made me even more convinced that this is the right decision, to be in Boston, to build my own fortune, to start a new life. And so that's kind of fired a new kind of conviction in myself, and I've kind of found myself a little bit even more. I can respect myself a little bit more. It's those hard decisions versus the easy decisions. There's this quote I've been reading in Tribe of Mentors, which is, easy choices, hard life, hard choices, easy life. And it's so true. What I've found is that like the hard choice is always the right answer. So whenever you're kind of wondering, what do you do in this world? What is the right thing to do? It's always the hardest choice. That's always, it's once you know that this is the harder thing to do, then immediately you know this is the right thing to do. And so I guess doing this has made me feel more respect for myself. And that's a huge thing, because you don't realize that whenever you kind of take the easy way out, you lose a little bit of respect for yourself. And that's something I've just found out, you know, just talking it out, that doing this allowed me to respect myself a little bit more, and that's a huge thing. And that's something that I'm proud of, and who knows where life is gonna take me, but I know now that I have guts. That's a huge thing. Anyways, this has been kind of a rant, and I didn't mean to sound kind of holier than thou or kind of a snob being like, yeah man, these homeless people and shit. Like, fuck that. Fuck that, Ali. Proud of the new Ali that I am. I'm starting to like the man I'm becoming, the man who understands. I've been there, man. I've been unemployed. I've been broke. I've been about to be homeless. You know, I've been there. So I'm liking this person that I'm becoming, and hopefully we're gonna make this something out of this world. We're gonna get into this journey, and we're gonna build our own fortune. With that, I'm gonna leave it there. If you learned something or were entertained today, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss next week's video. Leave me a comment. I read everything. I love to hear what you guys have to say. Do you guys empathize with the struggle? Have you been there? Have you been humbled? Have you been trying to come to a decision where you've been in a fork in the road where you had to take the easy way out or the hard way out? Did you take the easy way? Did you take the hard way? Which one was the right decision? Where did it lead you? Where did you end up? Do you agree with me that the hard decision is the right decision? I want to hear what you guys have to say. But as always, I love you guys, and I will see you next Thursday. Peace.